Good morning, Thrivers. It's Crystal again, and today we're going to do a monochromatic look. Now, a lot of people get really intimidated by monochromatic looks. I think they're amazing, so I wanted to talk about a monochromatic look. And today we're going to do a pink look, and I'm going to be using this palette today, which is by Wet n Wild. They came out with this palette during the Christmas season. The Christmas season. Let's start right. I don't think I had enough coffee today. It's a 32 pan eyeshadow palette. I don't love every single color out of this. I feel like, especially down here at the bottom, is all extremely neutral. But if you're a neutral kind of girl, this is your guy. They still have this online at Wet n Wild site. And I think when I checked yesterday, it was $7.50. So really, really cheap. I got it actually in store in, I want to say in January, and I think I paid $5. So it's totally worth it. I really like it. I'm using all of these pinks right here, kind of in the dead center. A lot of people get really intimidated by, like I said, like an all one shade look, but I think it's really beautiful. Hopefully you guys will too. So we will go ahead and we will get started. And again, I'm just going to do one eye, and I'm going to try to come back if I could figure out editing to show the whole face. So let's get going before we talk our way through every bit of this and not get anywhere. So I'm going to take that dark, deep pink, start right in the outside corner, and again we're going to just do that big buff up into the eye socket area, not going past the eyebrow, same as we did last time. And we're just going to keep buffing. Hopefully I can figure out how to edit so you guys don't have to sit there and watch me buff. These are not incredibly pigmented, which I like, because if it's super pigmented, you put the color on, you're like, pfft, and you're buffing for life because you cannot get that color to move around. This one is not super bad. It does have good pigment, but it's not so strong you can't work with it. And we're just kind of buffing that color out so it's not too deep, but it's got a good color for us to transition shades into. And like I said, we're just keeping it darker in that corner and then buffing it up and around. And I'm going to go ahead and just throw it on this other eye really fast. Can you hear my dishwasher running? With this quarantine situation, I run my dishwasher 2 times a day. There's only 4 of us. Why is it running so much? I don't know, but it is. Maybe we eat a lot of food. I don't know. We like to eat, so maybe that's why. Making lots of things right now, trying to keep everybody busy. Hence why I started making the little videos. So right now, I think we all just need something to do and something to come together and do. This was not like an intended, like full planned out situation. It just kind of is how it's going. So hopefully you guys like what I'm putting out and you think it's fun. So I'm taking the same exact color but on a packing brush, dabbing it like we did last time, packing it into that outer corner and buffing it up a little bit, very tiny strokes, keeping it really tight in that outer corner. We don't want to take it too far up and make the look too dark. I like keeping monochromatic looks not too terribly dark. I mean, this one's got some good darkness to it. I will say, when I have made this look before with this palette, it did stain my eyes a bit. I don't care. If you're the type that, you know, like slightly pink eyelids is going to be a problem, maybe choose a different palette to make this eye look from. I do have a couple other palettes down here that I was thinking about, but they weren't quite pink enough for me. But this one, the Infatuation palette from Profusion is really good. This is a $10 palette. I really like this palette. But these shades right here are kind of a little bit more orange than pink, but those would have been also really good to use for this look. And like I said, we're just packing it and then pushing it just to that outside edge, just a little bit, deepen it like that. So we're just trying to make sure everything looks nice and even and blended. And I'm going to swap brushes back to my little blender because I feel like this just needs to be just a little more blended up so that we're matching both sides. Because I feel like the other side got just a touch darker, which is not the end of the world. I like it, so it's okay. And if I didn't, I would just blend it out a little more. Blend those harsh lines off, just like that. So then using my finger, because I feel like fingers are the best tool, I'm going to use the middle shade in the palette, this like shimmery one right here. Boop, right there. Just going to put it on my finger. And all over the lid is where we're going with that. So you notice we're not using 12 shades to make this monochromatic look, because you shouldn't have to. You should have to use 3, maybe 4 shades. I don't feel like you need a ton of shades to make a monochromatic look. That's the whole point, is not to have to use a ton of shades and kind of make a pretty look without a ton of different makeup products. I like trying to use one palette to make my whole eye look, if I can help it. Now sometimes, like in my last video, did not have a transition shade, and I feel like that's really important when making an eye look, because if you don't have a transition shade, you have nothing to blend into, and it just looks way harsher on the eyelid if you don't have that. And a transition shade doesn't just have to be brown. Like today's transition shade was pink, and that's completely fine. So, you know, keep that in mind. It doesn't just have to be a brown to be a transition. We're just going to go right above that and just blend just a little bit into what our transition shade is. Just a little bit over here. And nothing's on my brush. I did not reapply any products to it. I'm just using what's already laid down and already there. Okay, we're not dipping a bunch, and mostly just patting off a little bit. All right, so then I like to use a light color for the brow area. I'm going to use this one all the way in the corner. I don't like to use a shimmer because I feel like it just gets too highlighted with that. Did you hear that super loud vehicle that went by? Windows are open because the weather is nice here, and we're going to take advantage. And tap it off. It is a little powdery. That's okay. Those things don't bother me. We're just hitting right above that brow bone and around. Make sure you tap off because it is powdery, so you don't get the powder all over your face. I do like to do face first because I feel the most confident doing it that way, just because I've always done it that way. But you could absolutely do your face after if you're worried about the fallout for whatever that you're working on. All right, so that is like the top part of the eye. I am going to do the lower part of the eye, very similar to my last look, where you just take that darkest shade is what we started with, tap it off, run it 3/4 of the way, keeping it concentrated here and just running it just a little bit, okay? Some people with monochromatic looks don't like to run the bottom lash, and you totally don't have to. I like it, and not everybody does. And makeup is fun. It doesn't have to be everybody's cup of tea. I can't do my bottom lash, I guess, and talk at the same time. I'm just taking that nice metallic-y shade we used all over our lid, right in the center, but not going past right here, okay? Same thing we kind of did on the top of the eye, we're doing at the bottom. And we're back. So the video shut off. during the process of doing my eyes, which makes me really upset because I have no idea where exactly it shut off. So we'll just recap, okay? So we started out, let me get my hands together. We started out using this color, we buffed it all in, then we made it nice and heavy in the corners. In the most of the eyelid area, 2/3 of the eyelid, we did this really pretty shimmer right here in the middle. Tap that all the way over, not going to the corners though, okay? Then on top of that, we use the top shimmer just in the center of the eye. Kind of gives a little bit of a halo effect, a little highlight to the eye to bring your eye in a little bit, making you drawn toward the actual eye color of your eye. Along the bottom, what we did is we took this deep pink shade, ran it all the way along about 2/3 of the way, kept it a little more concentrated in the corner like we have been doing. Then we took this one with our finger right here, and then the most shimmer right in front of that. Now the inner corner color is this little shimmer here in the corner, and we just did a C shape right there, kind of blends it slightly up into the lid, slightly down into the lower eye line. And you could have left the look there and I had shown how that looked, but unfortunately that footage is gone now. So we're not going to get upset about it. We're just going to move on. So then we took the black to kind of make it a little smoky, a little sultry. And we just took our nice flat liner brush that we had used yesterday, stamped it along the bottom line, and then right here. Right here. We didn't take it any further than just right here. Okay, and then after that, we tight lined, where is it? Here it is, with the Milani Stay Put Liner in After Dark. And again, when you tight line, you go as far as you can look this way, and then as far as you can go this way. And then when we tight line down here, we just kept it right in the corners. We didn't go any further. Same thing, tight lined right here, and that's it. And then, like I was said in the first time, when you do the stamping, to get all the way in here, because sometimes like my eye is real scrunchy there, I open and then stamp it. Just like that. So that I can get the black all the way through. So that's how we use this palette so far. Next, you want to curl your eyelashes. This one is called the Tweezer Man. And I've had this one for like 5-6 years. Really like it. It's nothing super fancy. But you want to make sure you're curling your lashes before you put your mascara on. It makes all the difference. Curling your lashes first. And then I always clean my curling eyelash curler up before putting it away, just so that I'm not getting any transfer of anything into my eye. So we're going to use the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara again today. This one is not waterproof. The first product I put on is not waterproof. And we're just going to keep that in the lightest touch for towards the inner of the eye. A little heavier on the outside of the eye. That just keeps the eye open still, because anytime you add black, to a look, it can get real heavy and real dark and real closed off. Really quickly. And again, like I said before, this is like a really inexpensive mascara that I just really, really like. Before I go in with my waterproof, I try to get as many clumps out as I can so that I'm not brushing through a bunch of clumps. And if I ever get any, I just kind of either use my finger to get them out, or I also have a tool I can use to kind of get them out. I like to concentrate a little more on the outside with this look. All right, if you have any situations where you get mascara in your eye look, wait for it to dry a bit and then just brush it away. If you brush at it too hard or too soon before it's dry, you'll wreck your look. I guess we'll call that the tip of the day. And if you feel like you've moved your eye makeup by trying to brush it away, you just take whatever residual was on your brush and just blend it over it. So there is our eye look. I like to pair it up with a matte liquid lipstick. This one's called Stay Matte by Rimmel. And the color is 110 Blush. Now some people say don't blend, hang on. Don't rub your lips together, but I always end up doing it. And I like to use the edges of the paddle to kind of get right along the edge. Now you could use a lip liner. I just don't always have time for that business. So that is the finished look. And I like to add just like a nice pinky blush right here. Nothing crazy, just a little bit. And that is the look. I hope you guys like it.